Hey guys, Mrs. Morrow again. This book is called Apples. I love, love, love apples. And this book is written by Gail Gibbons. Gail Gibbons is an author who writes lots and lots of nonfiction books. What I want you guys to notice is, why does this cover look different than other nonfiction books that you've read? A lot of nonfiction books have photographs or real pictures on the front. But if you'll notice about Gail Gibbons' books is they don't look like nonfiction books, do they? They have all illustrations. But I know that it is a nonfiction book because all of the information in the book is real. It's not a story. And you're about to find out when I read Apples by Gail Gibbons. Ready? An apple is a fruit. It grows on an apple tree. Apple trees grow in more parts of the world than any other fruit tree. They have been in existence for about 2 million years. The first American colonists brought apple seeds and seedlings with them from England. Oh, look, a caption. You can have captions even if it's not a photograph. Let's see. A seedling is a very young, small tree. Good thing I read that caption. That helped me learn about what a seedling is. As the colonists moved west, they brought apple seeds and seedlings with them. Some settlers found that Native American Indians had already brought apple seeds west and had apple trees growing near their villages. Many times during the early 1800s, John Chapman traveled throughout the wilderness of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Indiana planting apple seeds. Also, he gave seeds and seedlings to the settlers there. He became known as Johnny Appleseed. Some apples are grown at home, but most are grown commercially. I wonder what commercially means. If most apple trees are not grown at home, then where could they be grown commercially? I see a picture of some workers with lots of apple trees on a farm. I don't think that's their home. So maybe commercially means that farmers grow them for their job. Each year, about 250 million bushels of apples are grown in the United States. About 28 million bushels are grown in Canada. Here's another caption. A group of apple trees is called an apple orchard. How many of you have ever been to an apple orchard to pick apples? An apple is a firm, crisp, fresh fruit with a hard center called a core. The core has 5 seed chambers. Well, look at this. Even though it isn't photographs, we still have some labels. So this is a Macintosh apple. Stem, core, fleshy part, seeds, skin, and seed chambers called carpels. In the springtime, flowers called apple blossoms begin to bloom on the apple trees. Each blossom has to be pollinated in order for an apple tree to grow. Wait a second, pollinated, I don't know that word. Each blossom needs to be pollinated in order for an apple tree to grow. Wait a second, something up here can help me. Pollination, pollinated, happens when pollen lands on another blossom. I see a bee here. I wonder how the bee has something to do with pollination. The blossoms are usually pollinated by insects or by the wind. Wait a second, does that mean the bee brings the pollen to that plant? Could be. After a while, the blossoms begin to die and the apples start to grow. Throughout the warm summer, the little apples grow bigger and bigger. During the late summer or early fall, the apples ripen. When the trees are loaded with ripe apples, it is harvest time. Workers pick the apples by hand. It's a lot of work. Some are shipped to stores. Some are used to make apple juice, apple cider, apple jelly, applesauce, and lots of other apple products. Why don't you think of one Apple product that you like? Maybe tell your mom, tell your dad, brother, sister, grandma, grandpa, or your stuffed animal. Some apples are sold in baskets at roadside stands. During the fall, it is fun to go apple picking. Also, there are county fairs. Awards are given to the best looking apples, the best tasting apple pies, and the most delicious applesauce. There's apple cider too. During Halloween, there are caramel apples and candy apples. Some people bob for apples. Oh my gosh, messy. When winter comes, the apple tree branches become bare. The trees will become dormant until the next spring. Dormant. Last time I didn't know a word, I looked around to see if I could figure it out. And look at this, another caption to help me. Dormant means alive, but not growing. So the tree is alive, but there are no apples growing on the tree. When the trees will produce a new crop of apples is the spring. Pretty soon we're getting to spring. Apples have many tastes, ranging from sweet to tart, sour. All apples are different shades of yellow, green, and red, or a mix of these colors. An apple tree will not grow apples until it is about 5 to 8 years old. Each spring, the tree branches are trimmed. This is called pruning. Most apple trees grow to be about 20 feet tall. The soil around the trees should be fertilized. The pruning and fertilizing help produce lots of good apples. Wow, there's a lot you have to do to take care of apple trees. An apple a day. They are good for you. So this is a really cool text feature that shows you how to bake an apple pie. It's almost like a how-to. I know kindergartners have been writing their how-tos. And then this shows you how to make apple cider. There are thousands of varieties or kinds of apples. They are nutritious and delicious. And here are some more facts about apples. I'll read you my favorite one. The smallest apples are called crab apples. They make good apple jelly. I hope you guys enjoyed Apples by Gail Gibbons. I want you to think about one fact that you learned about apples and share it with your teacher on Seesaw or however you share information with your teacher, or just tell it to somebody at your house. Apples by Gail Gibbons.